Have you ever had that frustrating moment where you're listening to a podcast or watching a movie in English and you understand absolutely everything? You get the jokes, you follow the story, and you feel like a genius.
Oh, I know that feeling. It's like, hey, I've mastered this language. I am fluent.
Exactly. But then 5 minutes later, someone asks you a simple question like, "How was your weekend?" And suddenly, silence. Your brain is screaming the answer, but your mouth just freezes. It's like the connection between your head and your tongue has been cut.
The classic brain-mouth gap. It is the single most common complaint among language learners. It's that feeling of being trapped inside your own head. You know the words, you know the grammar, but physically getting them out feels like lifting a heavy weight.
It's baffling, isn't it? Because logically, if I know the words, I should be able to say them. But today, we are going to debunk that myth. We're going to look at why your mouth is actually the problem, not your intelligence, and how we can essentially take your mouth to the gym.
That is the perfect metaphor, because here is the hard truth that most textbooks don't tell you. Speaking English is not just a mental activity, it is a physical sport.
A physical sport? That sounds intense.
It is. Think about it. You have muscles in your face, your lips, your tongue, your jaw. For your entire life, those muscles have been trained to move in the specific patterns of your native language. They have muscle memory for your mother tongue.
Right. So when I try to speak English, I'm basically asking my muscles to perform a dance routine they have never learned.
Precisely. Imagine you read 100 books about how to do a push-up. You study the anatomy of the chest muscles, the angle of the elbows, the physics of gravity. You can explain the perfect push-up to all your friends.
But I've never actually dropped to the floor and done one.
Exactly. The first time you try to do that push-up, you're going to collapse. Not because you're stupid, and not because you don't understand the theory. You fail because your muscles are weak. They aren't trained. That is exactly what happens when learners try to speak. Their brain is an encyclopedia, but their mouth is unconditioned.
That is such a relieving perspective. It means there's nothing wrong with me mentally. I just have a lazy mouth.
A lazy mouth, or rather an untrained mouth. So if we accept that speaking is a physical action, the solution isn't to study more grammar rules. The solution is physical training. We need to build an English gym right in your bedroom.
I love this idea. No expensive equipment, just me and my face. So, walk us through this workout. If I want to wake up these dormant English muscles, where do I start?
Well, like any good workout, you never start lifting heavy weights immediately. You have to warm up.
Okay, so we're talking about stretching?
Yes, but for your face. It sounds a bit ridiculous, and you will look silly doing it, but it works. You need to loosen the tension in the jaw and lips. One of the best exercises is the lip roll. You know, vibrating your lips like a horse or a motorbike.
Just blowing air through them to make them buzz?
Exactly. It releases all that tightness we hold when we're nervous. Then you stretch the tongue, literally stick it out and pull it back. And finally, the smile stretch. You force a massive, exaggerated smile, hold it, and relax.
I can imagine doing this in front of a mirror and hoping my neighbors aren't watching.
Let them watch. You're an athlete in training. This warm-up only takes 1 minute, but it sends a signal to your body. Wake up, we are about to perform. Once you're warm, you move to the second piece of equipment, the mirror.
The mirror is scary for a lot of people. It's intimate.
It is terrifying. Most people hate watching themselves speak, but that's why it's powerful. You stand there, look yourself in the eye, and say one strong sentence. Something like, "I am learning to speak with power," and you watch your mouth move. You stop hiding.
It's almost like exposure therapy. You're desensitizing yourself to the fear of speaking.
Spot on. You're shifting the focus from judging yourself to observing yourself. And once you can look at yourself while speaking, we move to the core workout, shadow speaking.
I've heard of this. This is where you copy a native speaker, right?
Yes, but it's specific. You're not just repeating the words. You are becoming a shadow. You play a short clip, maybe 5 seconds of audio, and you repeat it immediately, trying to match the exact speed, the exact tone, and the exact rhythm.
So if the speaker sounds angry, I should sound angry. If they whisper, I whisper.
Correct. You are bypassing your brain's desire to translate. You are forcing your mouth to mimic the music of the language. This is how babies learn. They don't study grammar books, they just mimic the sounds around them until the muscles figure out how to make those shapes.
That makes sense. It connects the ear directly to the mouth. But what about speed? Because that's where I stumble. I can say a sentence slowly, but in a real conversation, I panic and trip over my tongue.
That's where the fluency loop comes in. This is my favorite drill. You take one simple sentence. Let's say, I am going to improve my English.
Okay, I'm going to improve my English.
First, you say it in slow motion. Exaggerate every sound. Feel where your tongue touches your teeth. Then, you say it at a normal, conversational pace. And finally, you say it as fast as you physically can without slurring.
Slow, normal, fast. It's like shifting gears in a car.
Exactly. The fast version forces your brain to stop overthinking. You can't analyze grammar when you're speaking at double speed. You just have to trust your muscle memory. If you do that loop 3 times, suddenly that sentence feels easy. You own it.
And that leads to something else, doesn't it? Because when we speak fast, English sounds different. We don't say, I am going to. We say, I'm gonna.
Right. This is the difference between being a robot and being a human. A robot says, what are you doing? A human says, what you doing?
What you doing? It's like the words are melted together.
We call those sound clusters. Native speakers don't speak in individual words. They speak in chunks. If you try to pronounce every single letter, you will sound choppy and mechanical. But if you learn to see going to as one sound, gonna, or let me as lemmy, you instantly sound smoother.
It's interesting because in school, we are often taught to be very precise. We are afraid that if we blend words, we are being lazy or incorrect. But you're saying that blending is actually the key to fluency.
It is the key to rhythm. English is a stress-timed language. It has a beat. If you fight the beat, you sound unnatural. If you ride the beat using these clusters, you sound confident. You can practice this by treating phrases like lyrics in a song. Repeat, let me know, let me know, let me know until it has a rhythm.
So we've got the physical workout, warm-ups, mirrors, shadowing, fluency loops, and sound clusters. But I want to pivot to the other side of this, the mental block. Because even if my mouth is trained, sometimes my brain just shuts down out of fear.
The fear of judgment. What if I sound stupid? What if I make a mistake? That inner critic is the biggest enemy of fluency. You can have the strongest mouth muscles in the world, but if the pilot, your brain, is panicking, the plane is going to crash.
So how do we train the pilot?
We have to change the emotional connection to the language. Usually when people practice English, they are emotionally flat. They just read sentences. The cat is on the table. There is no feeling.
It's boring. And real life isn't boring. Real life is full of emotion.
Exactly. So you need to practice acting. Take a boring sentence like, I don't know what to say. Now say it as if you are absolutely heartbroken.
I don't know what to say.
Now say it like you just won the lottery and you are shocked.
Oh my God, I don't know what to say.
See? Same words, completely different energy. When you attach emotion to the words, your brain remembers them differently. It anchors the language in a feeling, not just a textbook page. It also distracts you from the fear of grammar because you're focused on the acting.
I love that. It gives you permission to play. And I guess moving your body helps too? I've heard that walking around while speaking can help.
Absolutely. Motion creates emotion. If you sit stiffly in a chair, your voice will be stiff. If you pace around the room, use your hands, stand tall, your voice projects better. You are training your nervous system that it is safe to speak English.
It really is a holistic approach. It's not just learn words. It's train body, train mind, train mouth. But I can hear some of our listeners thinking, this sounds great, but I don't have hours a day to do this.
And that is the best part. You don't need hours. In fact, hours of studying can sometimes be counterproductive if it's passive. We are talking about 5 minutes a day.
5 minutes? Everyone has 5 minutes.
You spend 5 minutes scrolling through social media without thinking. If you take those 5 minutes and do a mouth gym session, 1 minute warm-up, 2 minutes shadowing, 1 minute of the fluency loop, you will see more progress in 30 days than you would in a year of just reading.
It's about consistency, isn't it? It's better to do 5 minutes every day than 3 hours once a week.
100%. It's like watering a plant. You can't dump a bucket of water on it once a month and expect it to grow. It needs a little bit every day.
There is something deeper here, too, regarding repetition. I think a lot of us feel like repeating the same sentence over and over is, well, stupid. We want to learn new words, not say the old ones again.
That is the trap. We are obsessed with input. More words, more grammar. But fluency comes from depth, not width. If you take one sentence and repeat it through the 5 stages, slow, flow, emotion, speed, and real-world context, that sentence becomes a part of you. You don't have to think about it anymore. It just flies out of your mouth.
I don't repeat to remember. I repeat to become.
That's the mantra. You are repeating it to become the person who says that sentence naturally.
You know, as we get close to the end here, I want to touch on something you mentioned earlier about the cost of silence. Because I think that's what really motivates people. It's not just about learning a skill, it's about what happens if you don't.
This is the heavy part. We often focus on the fear of speaking, the embarrassment of a mistake, but we rarely calculate the cost of staying quiet. How many jobs did you not apply for because you were afraid of the interview? How many interesting people did you not talk to at that party because you were afraid to say hello?
That hits hard. The missed connections. The life you didn't live because you were waiting to be perfect.
Exactly. Perfection is a myth. It doesn't exist. Native speakers make mistakes all the time. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to be connected, to share who you are. And every time you choose to stay silent, you are shrinking your world a little bit.
So, the 30-day challenge isn't just about English. It's about reclaiming those opportunities.
It is. It's a decision. You wake up and say, I am going to train. It doesn't matter if you feel tired. It doesn't matter if you feel shy. You do your 5 minutes. You train in private so you can shine in public.
Train in private so you can shine in public. I like that. So let's summarize this for everyone listening. We are stopping the passive watching. We are starting the active moving.
Yes. Tomorrow morning or right after this episode, don't just click next. Stand up. Go to a mirror. Warm up your lips. Pick one sentence from this conversation. Maybe I am training my mouth, and loop it. Slow, normal, fast. Feel the muscles working.
It feels weird at first, but that weirdness is just weakness leaving the body, right?
Exactly. That awkward feeling is the feeling of growth. Embrace it.
And you know, looking at the comments we usually get, it's amazing to see people from all over the world, Brazil, Japan, Italy, all in this same boat. We are all just trying to get our mouths to cooperate with our brains.
It is a global gym. And remember, no one is judging you as harshly as you judge yourself. People just want to hear what you have to say. They want to connect with you, not your grammar.
That is a beautiful thought to end on. Your voice matters more than your accuracy.
Absolutely.
So, to everyone listening, you have the tools now. You have the warm-ups, the shadowing, the acting techniques. The only thing missing is the action.
Don't let another day go by where you just consume English. Create it, speak it, mumble it if you have to, but get those muscles moving.
We believe in you. Seriously. We know how hard it is, but we also know that on the other side of that practice is a freedom that is totally worth it.
It is the best feeling in the world when the words just flow. You'll get there. Just keep showing up to the gym.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the mechanics of speaking. If you're going to try the Mouth Gym Challenge, let us know. We'd love to hear how it goes.
Yes, good luck. Take care of your voice and keep training.
See you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.